Are you now? We say go.
Okay, recording now.
Okay, so this is the 2019-20 Global Grants webinar. And as you can see on the screen, I am your host, Mark Harbison. I am the District Rotary Foundation Committee Vice Chair and the Grant Subcommittee Chair. So the main purpose for this webinar is to introduce the global grants that we have vetted so far for the 2019-20 Rotary year. But before we do that, I want to give you some updates on what the Rotary Foundation trustees have been up to as far as global grants. There is a committee, there are actually several committees, and one of them reviews the Rotary Foundation areas of focus. And one of the things that's informing that is that Mark Maloney's goal for this year is to highlight connection with the United Nations. Welcome, Gemma.
Hi.
In the middle of the screen are the Rotary Foundation areas of focus, beginning on the top left with peace, and then disease prevention and treatment, basic literacy, maternal health, maternal and child health, water and sanitation and hygiene, and economic and community development. What you see on the left and right of that center panel are the Sustainable Development Goals developed by the United Nations. And this screen is from a breakout session that I attended at the Rotary Convention in Hamburg. And it was put on by Peter Kyle, who at that time was the head of the strategic committee on the area of focus. So what Peter is trying to do here is show you how those areas of focus align with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So you could see, for example, number 4 on the right, quality education, aligns with our basic education and literacy. Peace, justice, and strong institutions up on the left, number 16, align with our peace and conflict resolution. No poverty, that aligns in general with all of our Rotary areas of focus, but specifically with community economic development, community and economic development. So as we go through the year and as we go through these various grants, we're going to be pointing out how they align with these areas of focus and also how they align with the Sustainable Development Goals. So the way that works, last year, Rotary International President Ian Riesly and Barry Rassin, both of them past Rotary International presidents, were emphasizing the Sustainable Development Goal of environmental sustainability. Now, this is a little bit different from sustainability in a global grant. The idea of sustainability in a global grant is that we want the impact of our projects to continue after the Rotarians have left, after the project is over. And I'll get into that in a little bit more detail when we get into the actual grants we're working on. But the way it works in the areas of focus is, this is a PDF that is available on the Rotary International website and also on the District 5000 website, which defines the areas of focus policy statements for the Rotary Foundation. What is new, what the Strategic Committee has changed, is this new area of environmental projects. So most areas of focus include projects designed to protect the environment. And for those projects, look for this green leaf to find projects with environmental focus. So when we get into the peace building and conflict prevention area of focus, there are 4 goals outlined here, but number 4 has been added. And that one enables the project to focus on improving dialogue and community relations to determine how best to manage natural resources. So that is new. And there's one of these or more in every single area of focus. And they attempt to address the Sustainable Development Goal of environmental sustainability. So how that plays out, this is a page from a WASRAG PowerPoint, and they're talking about goal number 6, which is sustainable management of water and sanitation. As you know, the Water and Sanitation Rotarian Action Group specializes in water and sanitation and hygiene. So they are also attempting, besides that area of focus in Rotary Global Grants, they're also trying to address goal number 6 of the Sustainable Development Goals. So universal and equitable access to water and sanitation, access to sanitation and hygiene, especially for women and girls, reduce untreated wastewater by 50%, increase water use efficiency, integrate water resource management, etc. So this is WASRAG's take, and they have developed that even further in the areas of focus. One of the new things that began on July 1st of 2018, and that I want to emphasize, is that all global grants require a community assessment. There is a form on the on the Rotary International website that you download, and it is a Rotary community assessment report. So you do the community assessment, and this involves community outreach, surveys, community meetings, any kind of outreach to the community to determine what they really need. So when a project is proposed, before it's even goes on to the Rotary International website, the Rotary clubs involved are required to go to the community and say, is this what you really need, right? Or are there other priorities? Do you have other things that are more important to you? So that is the purpose of the community assessment, and every grant that goes into the Rotary International website is required to have one. Okay, so this is a little update on what happened last year in the Rotary grants world. On the left-hand, upper left-hand, you see Polio Plus. 63 grants. These grants were given to specific polio programs in different countries or different regions. A lot of it went to India, a lot went to Pakistan, a lot went to Afghanistan, because those are the countries where polio is still endemic. But there are also a lot of them went to places like Nigeria, where there are major outbreaks, or the Horn of Africa. So these grants are designed to, as you know, all of the Polio Plus funds that are collected in a single year are spent. So wherever there is an immediate need, the Rotary Foundation is able to act very quickly to get funds to that area to do a national immunization day, an emergency immunization day, whatever it takes to stop that outbreak. Rotary Peace Centers, there were 94 fellows approved for $4.1 million. So that's a definite program for Rotary, growing all the time, has specific endowment funds dedicated to it. District grants, 503 district grants. Those are given directly to the districts and then go out to the clubs, as you know. Global grants, here's the meat and potatoes. 1,306 global grants were approved. The total programs awards, 76.9 million. So $80 million in global grants. Remember, this is only the World Fund portion of a global grant. So basically, if the clubs were putting in their cash and the district is putting in its DDF, then that 76.9 million was multiplied by 2.5. So a much larger contribution to Rotary International projects in global grants. So a little bit about the bread and butter, the nuts and bolts. This is the District 5000 website. Uh, this arrow here, this is the global grant information page. The arrow points you to the horizontal menu on the top of the home page that tells you how to get there. So foundation and grants, you click on this little arrow and there's a drop-down menu that takes you to district grants or global grant information or to an introduction to the foundation team. And then also on the right-hand sidebar, you see all the different subpages, all the links to information about global grants. So there's a link to how to use the RI website. That is a webinar from Abby McNear of the Rotary Foundation Trust Management Team. The RI Grant Center instructions, how to get to the Grant Center, how to use it, how to set up a global grant template, okay? Areas of focus changes. What has been changed in the areas of focus is I just went over. The latest one that they're highlighting here is environment, environmental sustainability. And then related pages go on and on and on. So there are PowerPoints, there are webinars, there are all sorts of things to guide you through the global grants process. The allocations for your club, all of those are there. All of the different qualification documents are there. Everything you need to get started with global grants. Okay, this is the RI Grant Center. And this is what you see when you first go into it. This is the home page. Again, look at the sidebar. All of these links to things that are useful or informative or necessary when you're working on a global grant. So areas of focus policy statements, that's what I just showed you. So if you need to look at those, check this out because it will tell you if your project is eligible for a global grant. It will tell you what kinds of projects are desired, what kinds of projects are off limits. For example, you cannot build a building. That's one of the things that is off limits. You cannot fund an NID. You cannot fund people traveling to a national immunization day. Here's a third link, community assessment results. This is the report that you file, that it's filed with your global grant to show that you have done a community assessment. So all kinds of things. Down here, global grant application template. This is a template that you can download and use as a worksheet. So if you're not confident to go directly into the global grant, apply for a grant process, you can work on the template first and make sure you've got all your ducks lined up before you even go in to apply for a grant up here. Whoops, I just got myself out of my screen. So I'm just gonna go through this and then we can have questions later on and I can go back to these screens. Okay, this is the screen that I see, or at least the top of the screen that I see when I go into the grant center. So this is my grants, my global grants. And you can see here that all of the grants we're working on right now are lined up. There are 5 of them. If you're interested in reading this in the original application form, there's an arrow here that points to grant search. If you click on this and enter the grant number, which you'll be able to get off the District 5000 website, you can go in and look at the actual grant application for any of these global grants. Okay? Okay, let me get into the actual grants. The first one that I want to mention, this one, we're not actually asking for additional DDF or cash from the clubs. It was fully funded by our sister district in Kyoto, District 2650. They gave us $32,000 in DDF, and that was matched by $32,000 from the Rotary Foundation. And then my club came in for a little bit, and a district in Calgary, Canada came in for some. So this is fully funded at $83,000. It is a VTT, it's a vocational training team to Uganda. It involves sending 11 specialists in pediatric orthopedics to Uganda. They're spending 1 month each, and they are teaching 3 student surgeons who are attempting to get certified by taking the national examination. So the other purpose of this grant is to assist the university hospital in Uganda in setting up a Uganda Center of Training Excellence for pediatric and orthopedic surgeries. So 11 doctors, 1 month each. Again, this follows up on a VTT we did last year that actually all of the clubs were involved in, and District 5000 helped fund, and that one was in Tanzania, and it was very much the same model. We call it training the trainers. So we're training young doctors who are trying to qualify in this specialty, and then they will stay at the university hospital and train more doctors as they come on board. So we'll have a training team in Tanzania, we'll have another one in Uganda, and we're preparing more of these for the coming years. This is, of course, one of our perennial grants, and it's a great project. It has been arranged by Kasenchai Nitiwarakun of the Rotary Club of Ceylon in District 3350 in Thailand. And of course, Dr. Eberhard Mann has been the driving force in this grant, and Dave Mosrin is his collaborator from the Rotary Club of Honolulu Sunrise. They have not set a budget yet. Generally, these grants are in the area of $100,000. They're proposing to buy at least 2 dialysis machines, and then also fund a major outreach program to familiarize this rural district in Thailand that dialysis is now available, to give education on dialysis treatment, why you might need it. They also have an outreach program for screening potential patients, discovering who may need these programs. So this is a great grant. It'll be up on the website, and you can contact Dave Mosrin if you want to commit your cash and GDF to this project. Okay, this is another grant. This is also an extension of 2 global grants that we've done in the last 2 years. 2 years ago, we established, with the help of the International Eye Foundation and the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness, an eye care center in the Carol Bagh district of New Delhi. And Carol Bagh is surrounded by one of the largest slums in India. The eye care center at Carol Bagh is totally a charity hospital. The first collaboration with the IAPB and the International Eye Foundation actually paid to equip the Carol Bagh Center. So we put in surgical equipment, we put in all kinds of diagnostic equipment, you know, the things that ophthalmologists use when you actually go to the eye doctor to check for, you know, for whether or not you need glasses. And so the follow-up grant, Project Vision, which were a series of eye surgeries and checkup camps, the whole idea of that was to spread the word about the existence of this new eye care center and the fact that it was free, that it was a charitable eye care center, and to screen large numbers of people en masse for possible cataracts, possible glaucoma, possible need for eyeglasses, for any kind of eye treatment that might be necessary. This is an amazing need in India because there is a high incidence of cataracts in India due to diabetes. And some of it is related to obesity, but a lot of it is based on genetic factors, which make a lot of Indians prone to diabetic retinoplasty, they call it. And so these eye surgeries are absolutely vital. The new grant is actually intended to expand the capacity of the Carol Bog Eye Care Center by adding 2 new surgical machines. And these are basically surgical robots. And they are capable of doing glaucoma surgery, which actually corrects for glaucoma. This is absolutely revolutionary. And the company that makes the machines has actually put them on loan to the Carol Bog Center for six months. And the 6 months are coming to an end. So we either need to return them or buy them. And this grant will attempt to raise enough funds to buy 2 of them. We haven't set a budget yet. The machines cost about $45,000 a piece. So if we're able to raise $90,000, we'll buy 2. If we're not, we'll buy 1. So that's where we are with that. 2.2 billion people globally have some kind of vision impairment or blindness, and a billion of them can be treated, are preventable. So that's the goal of this grant. Okay, the next one. I don't see James' hand. Did you leave, James? Okay.
Mark, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay, James, why don't you talk about this grant? This is the drinking water project. It's a wash project in Nepal.
Actually, you know who is here is actually Arjun Aryal, the expert in earthquakes, and actually the one who's actually leading this project. He's our club's international service chair. So I'll defer to him. Arjun, are you available right now to speak on this?
I actually think Arjun left.
Oh, shucks. Okay, no worries. No worries. He was here for a second. I'm not sure if he knew kind of what was going on here, but anyway, this is the second Nepal water project that our club is doing, and we've just kind of had a lot of good success with that first one in terms of kind of making the linkages. And oh yeah, Arjun is back on. Arjun, are you available?
I am here, but let me try to unmute.
Oh yeah, you're unmuted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead, James.
No. If you want to explain it, that might be better. If that's okay, it's more authentic from you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks though.
Focus on your project now.
Okay. So this project is, can you all hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. This project is a little remote village in Nepal. If you are familiar, it's in between Kathmandu and Pokhara. And this village is only
Whoops, Arjun, we lost you.
Arjun, you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. You cut out for a second. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I don't know my microphone. So, and this is about 40 miles from the epicenter of the big earthquake. It happened in 2015, and this village is because of the lack of drinking water. Many people started to migrate to downhill side, and because of that, downhill hillside people are not happy. And the 4 hours just to get a bucket of water. Not only that, they have to wait another hour for the water to get collected in the puddle they have. So, and the whole thing, the earthquake made very worse. Earthquake disrupted the water system. It happens everywhere. And unfortunately, it was worse in that village. So, so what we propose here is to pump water from downstream, and then it's a stream water, so that has to be filtered, and that distribute the water to the village. And there is a local Rotary Club very deeply involved in this, and we have a technician, the engineer who went there, and they did all the assessment or made a report. and the estimated cost for this is about $75,000. And actually, I'm a new one. I don't know much about the budget part. So, James, can you help me on that, the budget part?
Oh no! In terms of the budget, oh, do you mean like the details inside the budget? Because I don't have those details.
No, not. I mean, not the budget, like the funding sources. I mean the.
Oh yeah, so
the commitment amount.
Yeah, no. So you know, we are in the process of getting those commitments right now. You know, I don't have the entire list of who is all committed. We do still have a small gap that we could definitely use some support. You know, I think right now there is some funds coming, hopefully from the there is a district Nepal Earthquake Relief Fund from 2015 that might have some funds for us to use. In addition to that, we also have some commitments from some other clubs that have supported our previous Nepal water project. You know, I think just overall, Nepal is a pretty, you know, I would say in terms of financials, Nepal is a very clean place to go to. They actually, their Rotary clubs are very, very committed to making sure that they get the best bidder. They actually, their four-way test is done very, you know, a huge commitment to the four-way test. It's kind of probably, it's actually quite, it's almost quite annoying sometimes because their four-way test is so, so strong. But with that said, I think the impact to this project is great, not only because it brings water to a community that's in need. I know that it might have been cut out when Arjun was mentioning it, but this is actually a ethnically, very culturally kind of fragile kind of area where a lot of the people, you know, the traditional way of life is actually, you know, is being lost primarily because of this water scarcity. You know, so this traditional village, this that's there, it's almost like a loss of a generation of people, primarily because they're leaving their home village and their traditional areas, and there's potential concern that the indigenous ethnic group would actually potentially be decimated primarily because of a water source, which is kind of sad. And there's also other things like, you know, economic reasons to go to the city and find jobs, et cetera. But you know, if it's something that we could help kind of slow down and maybe help the community kind of work together to strengthen their community, maybe they could actually have regain their cultural identity back. So there's a little bit of more of a social aspect to this too, which is kind of cool to see. It's very rare to see this. The other discussion that I've been reading is that you know, UNESCO is actually in the process of looking at some of these cultural areas and trying to preserve them. And I think there's a huge UNESCO group right now in Nepal searching for these areas, because there's temples, there's all kinds of villages, there's all these areas that I think need to be preserved. And so it's kind of cool to bring light to that. And I think it's kind of a unique opportunity for us to help. In addition to that, Arjun is also in the process of potentially getting our club to do an international service trip potentially next year, maybe the year after. I think it might be actually after the chaos of the 2020 convention, but you know, we're actually looking forward to taking a trip there too. So it's kind of a multi kind of factorial reason to support a small village water project. So there's a lot more than the surface of what it looks like.
James, do you have any idea what the budget might be?
Yeah, I think,
ballpark?
yeah, we're budgeted around 70,000, and that has a lot to do with the technicalities of the mountain and getting the water pumped up. It just takes like a decent amount of technical things, and in addition to that, the longevity, the sustainability of the project. So there's actually quite a bit of money spent actually making sure that the project is maintained. In addition to that, there's education to teach about water sanitation, hygiene, and those kinds of things. So there's definitely it sounds like a big budget, but it's actually quite extensive.
And do you know how much more you need?
Arjun, do we have that number about? I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
About, I think the calculation when we did together, it was about 58,000. That includes how much we qualify.
Yeah, so I guess we're about 12,000 short, and I guess if we had about, that's assuming some of the factors of that district earthquake grant, fund. But about 12 to 15,000. So I guess you divide that by 3.5. So we're looking for club cash with their DDF match. Maybe in the ballpark, maybe another $4 or $5 grand, if possible.
Okay.
Does everybody understand what James just said about with the number 3.5? very briefly, if your club has allocations from the district of the DDF that we receive from the Rotary Foundation, the Rotary Foundation will match the district and the club. So they'll match the district from the Rotary World Fund up to the full amount of the DDF and half of the club contribution. So the total leverage on your $1,000 that you put in is 3.5. So you put in $1,000 of club cash, you put in your $1,000 allocation, and you have $3,500 going to the project. So that's how that works.
So Mark, just let me ask the question then. If we wanted to participate in this project, and I looked on our sheet, and we have 3,700 roughly in a Global Grant ability. If we wanted to put $1,000 of that money into this, then that would be 3,500. Is that how it works?
Yes, that's correct.
So it's our option or ability to spread it out or put it all in one particular project because we don't have one of our own, I guess is what we're
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, if you've got a big allocation like you have, yeah, you could spread it out. You could put it all in one grant. You know, whatever you like. Just like district grants, you can do one, you can do two, you can do, you know, whatever you can afford.
So what's the process then going forward? Should I bring it to the board, which we're meeting next week, in any one of these grants?
Yeah, you know, what I'm going to do is I will put up the PDF version of this or these proposals on the Rotary District 5000 website. So what you can do is either take your laptop or print it out and distribute it to your board members and say, you know, here's what's available. And I like this one, but what do you like? You know.
You know, Mark, sorry, but this morning we had a whole discussion about half of our members can't get on the website, and we're web challenged.
The thing is that whoever is not web challenged can download the PDF from the District 5000 site and do a printout for everyone else.
I think what we're having trouble with is even getting passwords. They don't recognize us when we try to log in, so we can't get passwords.
Just change your password.
It doesn't recognize us as members.
Huh.
But
That's
this site is not password protected, so you don't need to log in to get to this. So Judy, maybe I can show you after this how to get onto the website without logging in.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
If you continue to have, this is Laura, if you continue to have problems, just let us know and we can send you this as an email attachment.
Thanks, Laura.
Exactly. Okay, let's finish this off and
There's
get
one more,
to the
yeah?
questions. Yeah, we got two more.
Wait.
This is second to last, so hang on. This is a grant from the Rotary Club of Kapolei and Iloilo in the Philippines. And I don't know if I can pronounce this, Balikjawan Sur Elementary School Wash Project. So Marianne and Virgil have been working on this project for 2 years. And again, I was talking about community assessment and finding out, you know, is this what the community really wants? They have been working with school officials, local community leaders, engineers, contractors, all the people who are involved in this community to come up with a comprehensive plan that will provide a direct water system to the school and by extension to the entire community. And they don't have a budget yet. They're able to fund about $30,000 of the grant by themselves. So they have $8,766 in DDF. They'll be able to get matching from the district, matching from the Rotary Foundation, and that adds up to $30,681. They probably need about another $30,000. That's my guess. And you know, when Marianne gets back from the Philippines, she can confirm that. I'm sure she'll have plans from the engineers and a more detailed budget of how this is going to work. The idea is this is an island in the Philippines. The Rotary Club has been working with the community to get this going. They have no other source of water other than setting up this water system that will bring fresh water in and supply it to the school. And then parents, community members, other people will be able to come to the school and get water on their own. So that's a project by Couple A. And Marianne and Virgil and Alex are all involved, okay? And of course, the entire club. And the last grant is, this one's even harder to pronounce. This is the Rotary Club of Lahaina and the Rotary Club of Paco in the Philippines. And it's the Mangingisda Elementary School Water Refilling Station. This one, again, the budget is about $50,000, $48,077. And this is another project that's designed to bring a water system to a school in the Philippines. Actually, it's Puerto Princesa, Palawan, and this community of Barangay Manginista. The Rotary Club of Lahaina has been very active in the Philippines. Rick Nava, Daryl, a lot of their members have gone to the Philippines every year. They've set up smaller projects as pilots, and this is their attempt to actually do a large project and actually bring a water system to the Philippines and, you know, do something major for the community. So this is a great project, and, you know, it will undoubtedly involve the potential for Rotarians to visit and participate in trips and do hands-on projects. So that's the end of the PowerPoint presentation. I'm up for questions, comments, problems you may be running into, aside from not being able to log in.
So Mark, what do we have to do between now and November 1st to donate, if you will?
Well, you really put your finger on it, because the next step is to go back to your boards, and, you know, we'll make this clear when we put it on the website, but go back to your boards, discuss these with them, see where the interests are, and then decide, you know, do you want to give all of your DDF to one project? Do you want to split it up? I've given you the contact information for the grant leaders, so you can contact them and ask for more information. I showed you earlier on how to get the to do the grant search on the RI website and actually find the grant and go through it on your own. So, you know, there are lots of resources there, but the main thing at this point, before November 1st, is to go back to your boards, get their approval for, you know, allocating this DDF, and then let the grant leaders know, or let me know.
Naomi, I'm looking at this particular website, and I see that Mark Harbison has signed in, which indicates to me that he's gone through the process of putting in a password and getting inside. So are you saying this particular place that we're seeing right now is not password protected and anybody can get to it?
No, it is password protected.
Okay.
So you need to sign into the Grant Center, and be sure when you sign out, be sure to sign out when you're done.
Sorry,
Because-
Rich. Yeah, Rich, what you're looking at here is on myrotary.org, which is password protected. What Naomi was talking about was the D5000 website, which will have a page on it with the information. That is not password protected.
Okay.
This that you're looking at right here, the D5000 website, anybody can get to it immediately.
So our club runner number and all that other stuff doesn't necessarily work with this website?
No, it does.
It does? Okay.
You're you know, however you log into 55000.org.
Wait. Hey, Rick, this is James. I just wanted to clarify, your club runner account will not log you into My Rotary, so
No.
your members will have to get their own My Rotary login separately.
Yeah.
Honestly, the easiest way to go about doing this is just to contact one of the contacts on those grants, and one of us could actually just direct you and let you know. So even a verbal commitment after your board meeting, and just saying, hey, we'd like to support X amount for this grant, X amount for that grant, and just let those points of contact know, and then we'll just earmark it, let Mark know, and we'll have that money from the district also allocated to support. So I think honestly, just contact one of us. We're happy to one-on-one help you out. Even everybody on this list, even Judy, just contact us, and we'll be happy to make it easy for you. To go through the loops for you, so you don't have to. Because trust me,
If we just have if we could have just a printed contact information, that would be helpful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what Mark was saying earlier, that PDF that's on that website, we could even email that to you directly too. So you can just have
That'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Mark, I have a few questions.
Yeah.
This recording is going to be on our district website.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Will you? Yeah.
I will download the PowerPoint to the foundation and grants page.
Okay.
Website. That's this one.
Uh-huh.
I'll download it on here, and it'll show up on this sidebar on the right.
Okay.
And then, but the webinars are a separate. They're actually on the homepage of the District 5000 website. So if you look at the sidebar on the homepage, there is a link to the district webinars.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this particular recording is going to be available under foundation and grants. The one that we're on, right?
Not the recording.
Uh-huh.
So the recording will be on the district webinars.
Okay. All right. Then I have a second question. Are you coming, or are you going to? Are you coming for the October 22nd meeting, IST team meeting, or you?
It depends on how the Southwest Airlines, Hawaiian Airlines fare war is going.
Okay. All right. Because either way, if you can, of course you can be online at the meeting. Can you give a synopsis of of these different grants, this whole list of grants that I took notes on to our, it's right here.
I'll be there. I'll be there, and I'll do that.
No, okay. So to our team members, just so that they know what's going on.
Sure.
All right, great. Then I have one more thing. The Bali Blood Bank Project, GG1984545, is not on this list because it's for 2018-2019. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the thing is that it's fully funded, so I didn't want to put it up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Mark, just so everybody knows this is Laura again. What I did last year is I just printed off each of the grants, and then I also printed off a synopsis page. And I took them to each of the foundation seminars. So I will bring them to Kona and to Hilo. Unfortunately, we've missed the other ones, but when Mark puts it up on the website, it's real easy to access because it's just on this page, right?
Right.
Nothing. No password needed.
Okay. I just want to make really sure, Mark, the webinars are at which tab up there that I'm looking at? Which of the tabs?
Home.
Home. Okay. Homepage.
Yeah, this shows the global grant page, but homepage has the webinars. On the sidebar, on the right-hand sidebar.
Hello.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mark.
I'm on a
Thank
video.
you.
Call you back.
Are there any other questions?
Yes, Mark, this is Gemma from the Ever Beach Rotary Club. We are fled
Hi.
and so we don't have any DDF global grants, but we just had a very successful fundraiser. And if we had money and wanted to assist one of these grants, what would be the process for us besides contacting?
The same thing that James was outlining before. So you don't have to have DDF in order to participate in one of these grants. So you can contribute cash and.
Oh, I'm not hearing.
We've lost you, Mark.
Oh, no. Can you hear me?
Now.
I didn't hear what you just said.
Oh, okay. So you can use cash. You don't have to have a DDF allocation to contribute to the grant and participate. You can contribute cash, and the Rotary Foundation World Fund will match it 50 cents on the dollar.
50 cents on
the dollar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you put in $1,000, they'll match it with 500.
Oh, okay. Oh, great.
But
Yeah.
do go ahead and put in that little bit of global grant DDF that you do have out there, because they'll match that dollar for dollar.
Oh, okay.
See, on that's where you get the 3.5 leverage. So say you've got $150 or $250. You put that $250 in, get $250 from the district, you get $250 from the World Fund, and then you get an additional $125 from the World Fund. You know, so you got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I think I got that now. I didn't quite understand when you explained it earlier.
So you got a total of almost $900, or you have a total of almost $1,000. You know, with starting off with that small amount of money, right?
Okay, great.
Right. The other thing I should point out is that, and most of you know this, but you do not, along the same lines, you don't have to limit your contribution to your GDF element. You can put in your GDF and you can put in more. And so, for example, my club typically, we try to match our community service with our international service. So we put in 5,000 for community and 5,000 for international, but our GDF allocation is only 1,600 for global grants. So we're putting in an additional 4,400 in cash to support our grant. So, you know, that's also a possibility.
Okay.
I have one question, Mark.
Yeah.
So what is the requirement for the host club for these global grant projects? Is there a minimum they have to put in the grant?
The host club, you have to put in a minimum of $100.
Oh.
And if that is a problem, four-way test. But if it is a problem, one way around it is for your club to donate $100 to their club in cash.
Thanks.
Anything else? Comments?
Hey, Mark,
Yeah.
one other question I had was just from private citizens or private organizations that aren't Rotarians. Is there there is no match per se, right? So if, for example, like someone's mother wanted to donate money to to this grant, and they're not a Rotarian, they're not part of a club, we can still collect that. It would just be there would be no match associated with that. Is that correct?
Exactly. Except that, I mean, they could do it by donating either to your club directly or to the District 5000 Foundation in your club's name.
Would you recommend that they donate to the club so then that money can then come from the club? That probably be a better way, because then there's a potential for that 0.5 match, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's the advantage of doing that. And then if it's a large donor and say they want to put in $4,000 and they want a tax letter, well, then have them get the money. If you've got a foundation, that's fine. But if you don't, have them put it in your club's account at the District 5000 Foundation.
Okay, great.
So you can run it through the foundation to get the tax deduction, and then it still goes to the club.
Exactly.
And that money still will be matched, right?
Yes.
The 0.5%.
Yeah.
Right.
Am I correct in assuming that if we don't do anything between now and November 1st, that the grant disappears?
The money actually goes into a pool that other clubs can use.
Okay. So if we choose not to go in any direction, then somebody else will pick up that money and do something.
Exactly. Exactly. The problem there is that we have to find a club that is capable of matching it. So the money has to be matched. We want to get the leverage, but your DDF will just go into a big DDF pool, and then clubs can draw on that for matching to whatever project they're interested in.
And I will also mention to you, Rich, that just like we had the goal for district grants for every club to participate, we would love to see every club in District 5000 participating in some way in a global grant. Because when you get the reports back of what's happening with the $500 or that your club put in, and you can see the difference in the girls' school they now have sanitation facilities and they can go to school. It actually has an impact on some of the members of your club who didn't realize that's what you were doing.
Yep.
Mark,
Yeah.
This is Mariko speaking from Lahaina Sunset.
Hello.
Hi, we were approached by some club in Canada to see if we can contribute to a project in Rohingya from Bangladesh side. And if we do that, the match will be exactly the same, 3.5 times match, right?
Yes. Exactly. And you know, as a grant giver, I'm probably not supposed to advocate contributing to grants outside our district, but in a case like that where there is this, obvious attraction of doing that kind of grant, I actually, because of the Rotarian action groups that I'm involved in Peace Action Group, water and sanitation, blindness prevention, a number of them. But I also have personal connections of people who are very active in global grants. And I also have a friend in France who is a member of the E-Club, the Francophone E-Club. And Jean-Marie is also planning on doing a medical mission to Bangladesh for the Rohingya. So, my club may give part of its cash to that grant. Because we know that that's a really serious situation.
Mariko, but be sure that if you do commit to a grant outside of District 5000, that you let Mark Harbison know.
Sure.
Because the worst thing that can happen is all of a sudden we get a request from somebody for a certain dollar amount of DDF, and we've already given it to another club because we thought it was unused.
Okay,
Right.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
What's really important is once you decide to make that commitment, let them know and tell them to put it up on the Rotary International application. Because once they do that, it'll show up on my screen and James's screen and Laura's screen, and then we'll know that DDF is committed.
Okay.
And just be real careful about, make sure it's somebody that that you're working with, as Mark explained his connections. There are a lot of grants that go up on the Rotary website that will never come to fruition, and we don't want you committing your money and then not being able to use it. So what Mark and James have done, and Murray and the International Service Team, is they have looked at these 6 grants, 5 requesting money, and they have said there is a very strong likelihood that these grants are viable and they will be funded this year. And therefore, as clubs in District 5000, you can be confident that if you put your money here, everything will turn out okay.
Yeah, thank you, Laura, for the comment, because we did have an experience last year that outside the district, that the project that we wanted to commit didn't really go forward.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Mark, I have a question.
Sure.
Did you yourself write the pediatric orthopedics VTT in Uganda? Did you write that global grant yourself?
No, actually, the lead doctor, doctor on the team, is a guy named Mark, Dr. Mark Berry. He is the VTT team leader. He is the one who went to Uganda, made the connection with the hospital, made the connection with the Rotary Club there, and then they did the community needs assessment, and lined up the doctors, all that stuff.
Right.
So they put all of that together. My role, and the reason I'm the primary contact, is that I'm the main contact with Shoto. So I'm in touch with their district grant chair, and when I was in Hamburg, the two of us arranged to fund this grant once it came together, and of course they reviewed it and vetted it and all that stuff. So they're on board.
I just want you to know I still have your 2015 presentation during the district training. I think it was about 40 pages, but I thought it was really good. So I kept it, and every now and then I refer to it.
We had it up on the website for a long time. We didn't want to take it down.
Okay, I think we're almost done. Are there any more questions, comments? If not, I don't know if Naomi's still on the phone, but Naomi, are you there?
I'm still on.
I think we're done. I think you can stop the recording.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Thank everyone for attending.
Participating.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mark.
We were a small but mighty group.